Today on Ask This Old House.
So you've got a concrete patio here. It's got a few cracks in it. I'm going to transform a patio right here on the streets of San Francisco.
It's black, it's plastic, this part swivels. What is it?
Well, you know, in the morning I like to have at least 2 cups of coffee at all times.
At the same time?
At the same time.
Really?
All times. So you're listening to me?
That's next on Ask This Old House.
The neighborhood I live in is the Lower Haight in San Francisco. Our neighborhood has all these beautiful Victorians all around us. And then you have our home, which is beautiful in its own right, but it could use some help, especially the front patio. As you can see, it's a really small space. There's not much space to move around or have too many friends. This table was a hand-me-down from my brother's old job. I love that I can sit 4 to 6 people on my bench, but as you can see, it's rotting away here. This is our weed collection, also known as our garden. We would love to make this front space beautiful so we can fit into our neighborhood.
Hey, Katie.
Hey, Roger, thanks for coming out.
So this is your home.
This is it.
Well, you emailed us about the patio here. Looks pretty nice to me. Nice location.
It's a good location, but the patio needs some help.
Well, let me take a look.
Come on in.
So it's basically a concrete patio. Now, it has a few cracks in it, but to be honest with you, it looks in fairly good condition, and that's great, because what I want to do today is put a new flooring right on top of this concrete patio.
Okay.
Then what I want to do is get rid of all these weeds and do some planting. We'll do some screen planting over there, some color, and some more screen planting over here. Now, everything we plant is going to be in container.
Perfect.
So you'll have to take care of them.
You got it.
The bad news is we got a lot of work ahead of us.
I'm ready.
You are. Well, let's get all of this stuff out of here. All right, let's get started on pulling all those weeds out.
Okay, we have curbside pickup for compost in San Francisco.
Great. This is what we're going to use to cover up your concrete patio today. These are wooden deck tiles. Now, they're made up of Ipe. Ipe is a Brazilian wood, and it is really, really hard, so it's a great service for outdoors. These are actually made up of short pieces of lumber. Normally, they would have gone to waste, but this company harvests them and cuts them and makes their panels out of them. Now, on the bottom side, we have this plastic grid system. This does 2 things. It holds the panels together, but it also raises the panel up off the concrete. That way, air and water can flow through there. You won't get any rot or mildew on the underneath. The other thing is it has these male and female attachments on it. So you just line it up with the other piece and snap it right in place. Pretty good, huh?
Easy.
But it all starts with drawing a straight line. All right, take and snap that line for me. That's great. Now what we have is a line that's perpendicular to our wall. Now, that allows us to put tiles in, full tiles, all the way along this long wall without making cuts. Cuts is the thing that's going to take the most time on this job. So if you look over here, this line is exactly 6 feet from the wall. That should be 6 individual panels going over here and no cuts here. Then when we build out to this wall here, no matter what we do, we're going to have to make a cut to fit that angle. But we'll deal with that last.
Okay.
Let's get started. Hand me a tile. Thanks. I'm going to take and put it right here at the junction of the wall in our line. Now the next one, I'm going to change the pattern. I'm not going to have them run all the same way. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. That's called a bastic weave pattern. And we're just going to snap it. Pretty simple, huh?
Yeah.
You ready to try it?
Okay.
Okay, grab some towel. Line it up. Take your time. Good. Now come inside. I want you to go back to the wall again and put one in there. Probably 2 for me, okay?
Okay.
Another one here for you. Okay, now fill in the middle. You know, you can use a rubber mallet to hit those if you want.
No, I'm good. It's really easy.
Okay. We pulled this line 6 feet from the wall, so it should fit in 6 tiles exactly. Let's see how we did.
Okay.
You all set?
Yep.
I'm going to start right there. Okay, keep working over to me. Now I want you to come all the way across. There you go. All right, moment of truth.
Here we go.
Make me look good.
You got it.
Not bad, huh?
Perfect.
Let's finish this puppy up. Now, our whole courses came up a little short of meeting all the way out to the concrete. So we have to cut a piece in there. If we line this up with the back of the concrete, we'd have to cut a line right there with our circular saw. That's a lot of work. If I just scooch it over a little bit, I'm right in the middle of the panel, and the only thing holding it together is the plastic. So I'm going to just put it up here, take the utility knife. I'm going to cut through these. Now, these top ones cut pretty easy. It's the middle one that's hard. There it is. It just popped out. Now, you can take that and plop it right in place. What do you think of that?
Love it.
It's not going to tip. It's going to be solid. Saves us a cut with a circular saw.
Yeah.
Now, the great thing about it is we get 2 in 1 cut. There you go. Get some more and we'll finish it up.
Great.
Now, the next piece we put in is running opposite way, and we definitely have to cut the wood in order to get that in. But what I'm going to do is use this last piece we had as a template. I'm going to line it up on here, and then I'm just going to trace the line. Now, before I make my cut, I have to check where that line is and make sure that there's no screws in the way. That line falls right along here, so I'll be able to set the saw just a little deeper, cut through the plastic, and not worry about hitting any of those screws. All set?
Yep.
There you go. I'm going to put those in. Now, we have a pipe over here. We want to cut a tile around it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the tile and we're going to lay it in like that. Once we have it in the right spot, we'll just take the square, line it up with the center of the hole, and I'm just going to take and make a mark this way. And then I'll slide the tile out so it's in position this way. I'm going to use my square the other way. Get the center of my hole. Now we'll just drill that out with a spade bit. How's that? Pretty good?
Yeah, fits great.
Okay, now we got to figure out the next piece. You can see when it goes in, it won't fit all the way. So we have to clip that corner. So to find out how much I have to take off, I have to take a couple measurements. The first I need to know is what is the distance from the corner back to that piece, and that's 9 inches. So I'm going to take and make a mark at 9 inches on this one, which is right at the edge of the board. Then I need to know how deep it needs to be, and in this case it's going to be 3 3/4. So I'm going to mark down 3 3/4, and then I'm going to take and join that line together, cut it off with a circular saw.
Perfect.
How's that last cut piece fit?
Good, we're set.
Looking pretty nice.
Yeah.
Now, over here, we can't install any more of the wood tiles because there's not enough clearance with the door. So we're going to leave this whole part open just the way it is. But on the edge, we're going to put in this reducer or threshold made by the manufacturer. And that's just going to pop in, and it's going to give us a really nice transition from the concrete up to the deck. There we go, the last piece.
Looks great.
All we need is some plants.
Okay.
Katie, one thing I wanted to do on your new patio is to give you some screening, some privacy. And for that, I chose bamboo. Now, this is a bamboo called Spectabilis, and it's going to go in this really nice container we have. But the first thing we did is line the bottom of the container with this fabric, and that's to keep the soil from washing through the bottom. The second thing we did was install this heavy plastic liner all the way around it, and it's going to keep the roots of the bamboo from growing out. This is a really aggressive plant. You have to contain those roots. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of this soil. There's a special bamboo mix soil, and we'll just put it in the bottom. If you just spread that out for me. All right? Now I'm going to grab the plant. You're just going to slide the pot off for me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Great. Just take it, set it in. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's just about an inch below the top, so it'll hold water. Now we just got to go around and fill in the holes. All right, would you take one handful and bring it around over to this side? This plant's leaning a little bit, and I just want to straighten it out if you push some in there. All right, how's that looking? Pretty good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's bring it into the patio. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks great.
Let's get the other one in here. Okay, I think right about there. Now that is going to give you some privacy. But I also wanted to give you some color. But I don't want to put planters on the inside. It would eat up too much of the valuable patio space. So what we're going to do is we're going to hang some planters on the outside on the wall.
Cool.
Well, we have 2 cedar flower boxes I got at the local home center. Now, I painted them black to match the containers on the patio. I also mounted brackets on the bottom, and they're going to hold this to the wall. Now I'll just drill the holes for the concrete anchors. All right, bring that box in. I'm going to have you hold it right up like that. Now hold it right there for you. Okay. All right, you all set?
Yeah.
All right, let's fill them up. This is how we're going to fill your window box. We're going to have 2 cyclamen on the end, 2 mums in the middle, and then snapdragon dead center.
Great.
Okay?
My favorite.
So what we do is just take a plant, plop it out, loosen it a little bit, do it over the container. There you go. All right? Now dig a little hole. We want these right up at the very end so they grow right out of the edge of the pot. Now just take them back, fill it. Tuck them in, firm them right in. Okay? Raise yours up a little bit. It's a little too low. I want it about an inch below the surface of the wood.
Okay.
Good. That way it'll hang right over the sides. It'll look really nice. Same thing with the mum. Just plop it out. Take it, do it over the container. That way you won't make a mess. Just loosen the roots up a little bit. Get it down in. Okay, now we need a little bit more soil in here, so just take an empty cup and just scoop it. That way you don't put too much in. Fill in all around your mum and around your cyclamen. The dining set looks great, and over here we have a new bench.
I love the bench. I love the whole place. I can't believe all that we've done today. From that cracked concrete, the gross weeds, now it's a beautiful patio ready to entertain.
Really came out nice.
Thank you so much for all your help today.
Oh, you're welcome.
Can I offer you a beer?
You can. Ah, this fits really nice. Thank you.
Cheers.
Looks like you settled in nicely.
I did.
So these tiles are a great solution for a small patio.
Not just a small patio, but a balcony or even a rooftop garden.
And you guys put down the 1x1 tiles, but obviously they have different sizes.
Right, this particular one is a 1x2, and that would make short work of a large area.
So different sizes of Ipe, but also different materials.
Right, this is a composite lumber. It's plastic and wood fiber molded together
Nice.
and on the grid, and you look, it gives you a little different look than that Ipe.
So that shouldn't rot. And you've also got stone.
Right, some stone. This is a blue slate mounted on the grid. You can just lay that
Oh,
down.
wow, that's heavy.
Look at this one. This is granite that could be put in. Imagine the look of that.
And this is the real stuff. This is real stone mounted to the back of these pads.
Absolutely.
So now if you're going to be putting down the stone, you're obviously not cutting those with a circular saw.
No, they weren't worked too well that way. You have to get a 4-inch grinder with a diamond blade on it or a wet saw.
And what about cost for, say, the Ipe?
The 1x1 Ipe panels that we used were about $11 a square foot.
So that's not cheap.
Well, think of the alternative. You have to come in and jackhammer out all that concrete, carry it out, put in a base material, and then bring in a bluestone and lay it. You would have been well over $20 a square foot.
And you're talking about a lot of labor in that case, whereas this just snaps right in. Well, that's a nice fix, Roger.
Thanks, Kev.
Okay, guys, here it is. It's black plastic. It has a handle and 4 arms, and the silver arm actually swivels. What is it?
That's pretty what that is. I've been looking for that all week.
That's because I had.
You know, on the job site, I like to have one hand free all day long to look busy. But I also like to have 2 cups of coffee going all the time. Hey, do the math. You know what I mean?
2 to 1.
So this allows me to carry 2 cups of coffee
Oh, look at you.
at the same time and have one hand looking busy.
Wow, that's really handy, Tom.
It is. Do you have any idea what you just said?
No.
All you guys have smartphones, right? And what's your biggest worry?
Oh, just reception, I guess.
Right. So you all want 5 bars.
Yeah.
Right?
5 bars.
Okay.
5 bars.
I don't want 5 bars. I don't want anyone to call me anymore. I'm tired. I'm grumpy. They won't leave me alone.
Yeah.
Grumpy air.
This is a no bar.
No bar.
No bar.
I slide it in here,
He used to play for the Sox.
hold it up, and it can get no radio waves to my phone. alpha, beta, kappa, kappa, gamma, it blocks them all.
Does it really?
Cone of silence.
Okay, listen, Grumpy, you're done. Give it to Dopey over here.
I'm not dopey. That's dopey.
Hey, I can hear you.
I'm sleepy. You ever been to a meeting? The person up there talking gets a little drony.
Oh, yeah.
And your head gets a little heavy. You want to stay in the game.
Bet your head gets really heavy.
This is the meeting master right here. You throw this right here, and as the head starts to tilt, it's a little crush. People behind you think you're fully into it, right? And you can just go this way.
And the little swivel thing down there?
Well, it really depends on which way your head goes. You know, it can be left or right heavy. But what if you're front to back? With this thing. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Behind me, I look good.
I had no idea there were two dopey elves.
Hey, I'm right here too.
Listen, now this is actually the best Christmas gift you can give yourself, all right? How many times have you ended up with this mess?
Every Christmas.
Right, they get all tangled up, but what you really want to do is you want to be able to wrap these up at the end of the season and store them. So you put them on there and you start wrapping them up, and what you end up with is something nice and neat like this.
Can you just hang that right on the tree?
No, dopey. Once it's wrapped up, they give you a black tie. You put that through, you bring it up through the slot right here on both sides, and it allows you to tie these up into a nice neat little bundle. And watch this. You take the silver, you twist it down, you pull it off like that, and you've got a perfectly wound up wire.
That's great.
So, Tommy, we're getting a lot of letters from folks who want to properly hang a picture or a heavy mirror, and it makes sense. They want to get it in the right place, and they want to make sure it stays there. So do you have any tips for us?
Absolutely. The first thing you want to know is, what is my wall made of? Now, if you live in an older house, say 1940s or older, it's probably a plaster and lath wall.
Right.
All right. Now, the plaster is very brittle.
Right.
So you got to be careful of the hanger. You don't want to use a drywall hanger on this because you could damage the plaster and the wall.
Okay, so what do you recommend we use?
Well, I recommend this right here. This is an old tried and true toggle bolt. It's spring-loaded nut, and you want to use a picture hanging hook on it.
Right.
You must drill a hole in the plaster first.
Which we've done here.
Squeeze the nut, push it through the wall, and when you push it through the wall, the spring opens up.
Look at that.
All right, you pull back on it, and you tighten it with a screwdriver,
Right.
and that will go right tight against the lath.
I'll tighten it from behind, but you'd actually be doing this from the front with a screwdriver.
Right.
Until it is nice and tight
And that will hang just about any picture you want.
without damaging this wall. Now, we all don't have plaster and lath. A lot of us have drywall.
Right, and there are a lot of different fasteners for drywall. Plastic, mollies, toggles, and screws, for example. This is a large screw that screws into the drywall. You drive it in with a hammer. It goes in so far, you take your screw gun, and you screw it into the drywall. You back the screw off, and you can hang a picture right on that.
Right.
This is the old tried and true picture hanging hooks. They work fantastic. And all of these fasteners have a maximum weight rating.
Which means we need to know the weight of our picture, or in this case of our mirror, and we can find that easily using a bathroom scale, and it looks like it's about 30 pounds.
Okay, well, I'm going to use this fastener right here. Now, this one fastener is rated for 30 pounds, but I'm going to use two of them.
Really? So is this just belt and suspenders?
Well, yes, but it gives me a couple of options also. It allows me to slide the mirror to the left and the right just a little bit because I have two of them, but it also keeps the mirror from going askew.
Good point. Okay, so where do you want to locate this mirror?
All right, now let's position it on the wall about where we think we want it. So I want the top of the mirror here, and I want the center of it about there.
Right, and so if that's the top, we actually have to measure down from there to take into account this wire. And if we just had one hook...
All right, if we had one, I'd measure down. It's about 3.5 inches.
Right, but you're going to use two.
All right, so now it depends on the spacing between each hook. If you go a little bit wider, the wire goes a little bit lower.
Right, and if I go closer, it comes up.
Right, so to know that height, what I like to do is I like to take a scrap piece of wood right here. This is about 12 inches, and I mark the center. I center it on the mirror, eyeballing it, hold it tight to the wire, and now I measure down from the top of the mirror 5 inches.
All right, so now...
So now I measure down from my line on the wall, and I make a 5-inch mark. I take my scrap of wood with my center line, I line it up here, down, and I make it right there. Take a little level, make that level, and I mark the end of the corners on each side. All right, and that's where we position the hooks.
We actually want to make sure that the bottom of the hook goes on that mark, so I'll locate it.
Right.
And I'll just tap this in. Okay.
All right, I'll put the second hook up.
All right, we'll get the mirror ready.
Okay,
All right, have that wire.
I'm on my hook.
Okay, me too. Nice job, Tommy. Those are some good tips.
Looks good.
All right. So if you've got projects around your house, big or small, we'd love to hear from you. And until next time, I'm Kevin O'Connor
And I'm Tom Silver.
for Ask This Old House. Looks really good.
Looks really good. Looks really good. Oh, boy. Is that what you mean?
Next time on ask this old house. We're heading to Texas to give an old fireplace a second life.
And in this bathroom, it takes a long time for the hot water to get hot. I'm going to fix that.
It's got a blue plastic housing and a plastic flexible hose. What is it?
Can you believe he's still talking?
Gentlemen, it is not that.